Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cincinnati Bengals punish late error to beat Dallas Cowboys. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-20 thanks to an error which set up a late 40-yard touchdown pass from Joe Burrow to Ja'Marr Chase. With the scores tied at 20-20, Dallas looked to have regained possession when Nick Vigil blocked a punt by Cincinnati's Ryan Ricow just after the 2-minute warning. But rather than leaving the ball alone, which would have given the Cowboys possession, cornerback Amani Oruwariye attempted to recover it but could not hold on, and the Bengals were able to reclaim the ball at their 43-yard line. They made the most of the opportunity, Burrow finding Chase pass 3 plays later, and he went the distance to end a 3-game losing streak for the Bengals. Burrow, who completed a 4th straight game with at least 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, had earlier found Chase and Chase Brown for scores. Cooper Rush threw 2 touchdown passes and an interception in a seesaw game which never had more than a score in it. Video: Micah Parsons pulls unsportsmanlike move after Cowboys loss to Bengals. Micah Parsons was furious after his Dallas Cowboys lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 27-20 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, on Monday night, and he did something unsportsmanlike. The Cowboys' defense had forced Cincinnati into a 4th-and-27 with 2 minutes left and should have had good field position after blocking the Bengals' punt. Unfortunately, cornerback Amani Oruwariye made a huge mistake and touched the blocked punt and muffed it, allowing the Bengals to recover. Cincinnati ended up throwing a touchdown pass to take the lead and win the game. Parsons could not believe what had happened. Parsons was so upset that he walked off the field angrily and headed to the locker room before time had officially expired. Parsons' frustration is understandable, but he still could have stuck around until the end to shake hands. The Cowboys' defensive leader expressed a sentiment after the game that his team is cursed. "It seems like we're playing a dude that's not there," Parsons lamented. The Cowboys' defense seemed to have done enough to win the game, but they still lost. That dropped them to 5-8 and made Parsons extremely frustrated, to the point that he walked off the field early. Cowboys' Jerry Jones breaks silence on Troy Aikman's Mike McCarthy take. Early Monday evening, Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joined 105.3 The Fan ahead of Monday Night Football between the Dallas Cowboys and Cincinnati Bengals for some pregame chatter. During the conversation, they discussed head coach Mike McCarthy, as Aikman was asked whether he thinks the Cowboys will keep their head coach going into next season. Once Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was made aware of the comments, he gave his thoughts on McCarthy, per Bobby Belt of 105.3 The Fan on X. "Mike McCarthy is an outstanding coach," Jones said about the Cowboys' current head coach. "He has an outstanding record. He's got great experience. A lot of what he's about, some of the benefits that we're having out there, we're gaining from the type coach that he is." Considering McCarthy now has public vouching from both Aikman and Jones, it appears the Cowboys won't be amid the coaching carousel this offseason. Following a 13-year career as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, McCarthy is now in his 5th year with the Cowboys. Of those 5 years under McCarthy, the Cowboys are 47-33, with the remainder of 2024 to play out. A main dink in McCarthy's resume is his lack of postseason success. McCarthy has just 1 playoff win in his 5 seasons leading the Cowboys. Though Jones stated McCarthy has an outstanding record and great experience, neither of those claims have been backed up on the field this season. And if the Cowboys are content with being the regular season kings each year while having continued failure in the postseason, McCarthy is the right guy for the job. However, as a team donned America's team, it's shocking that Jones is seemingly okay with the mediocrity of the Cowboys under McCarthy. Now, Cowboys fans don't necessarily praise Jones for his incredible ownership, considering his money-first mentality, but it doesn't seem to have crossed his mind that making this team winners would bring him even more money. And while the NFL is a money-making business, Jones wouldn't be so misliked within his own fan base if he was a more present owner who cared more about the product on the field. However, following Aikman and Jones making public claims of McCarthy's job security, the Cowboys appear to keep their head coach where he is going into next season. This Week 14 loss by the Dallas Cowboys to the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football might define this dysfunctional season for the so-called America's team. Even Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons had to leave the game early, without shaking hands with the Bengals, because he couldn't believe how they lost, seen here beside himself on this replay from SportsCenter. With the score knotted at 20 late in the fourth period, the Cowboys' defense had forced the Bengals to make a punt, putting themselves in position to set up a game-winning drive. Then, the Cowboys even blocked the punt, sending the ball sailing forward, ultimately bouncing to Dallas cornerback Amani Oruwariye. However, Oruwariye muffed the ball, and Bengals linebacker Mima Njongmeta immediately pounced on the live ball to gain a first down on midfield. Then, it only took 3 plays before Joe Burrow threw a pass to Ja'Marr Chase, who ran a 40-yard touchdown with 1:01 left. After the Cowboys lost, fans online reacted to Micah Parsons leaving the field before the clock ran out. First, user at Forthlinenal pointed the finger at Parsons himself for his lack of contributions to defense. He had no tackles today. He's part of the problem this season, the user said. Meanwhile, at Sean Barnard 1 mocked Parsons for having a podcast, just like hundreds of other players and ex-players across all of professional sports. Podcast isn't going to record itself, he said. Sports betting accounts BetMGM and DraftKings Casino even likened Parsons' exit to Antonio Brown quitting the Buccaneers, leaving in the middle of the game and forcing the team to cut his contract immediately after. Then, another user at Rob Richard even called Parsons selfish and unprofessional, adding, "The Cowboys have had a frustrating season to say the least, but you need to be able to handle defeat with class." Still, other accounts were kinder toward the Cowboys linebacker. For instance, at Chant00 encouraged Parsons to try looking for another team while he can. Micah should get out while he still has plenty of career left. Dallas has too many issues, they said. Likewise, at Grizzly Edge added, "Can't blame him one bit. He put it all out on the field tonight." The Cowboys do what they do best and lose. With quarterback Dak Prescott out for the season, among other signs of dysfunction, the Cowboys are now 5-8, with only a 1.3% chance of making the playoffs. Losing this way is one thing, but losing this way to practically eliminate yourself from postseason contention is entirely another, and Parsons isn't the only player dejected about this outcome. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike McCarthy? Leave your opinion in the comments.